Growth Pack View is one deal that literally almost killed me. Everything went wrong. It challenged who we are. It challenged our partnership. It challenged the marketplace. Everybody almost gave up on us.
If we stop now, who will? Who will continue in this battle? Who will continue in this journey to bring institutional grade assets to members of our community? We knew there was only one answer: never back down. One of our core values at XSITE Capital is tenacity.
If you want something bad enough, you have to keep knocking on the door. We created XSITE Capital in 2019. We didn't do our first deal until 2021.
Every single day we were working, building relationships, learning, reading books, going to seminars.
We finally got this deal.
Growth Pack View changed XSITE Capital. One of our core values at XSITE Capital is tenacity. And there's nobody that exudes that core value better than Tenny. That's why we call him Tenacious Tenny. So to get our first deal, he did something crazy and amazing, and I'm going to let him say it himself.
Les Brown has this philosophy that if you want something bad enough, you have to keep knocking on the door. And the person behind the door will sit there and listen to you so much. They ignore you for so long, and they'll be like, you know what, let me just go open the door and see what this person wants. And that is one of those philosophy that I have that keeps us going here at XSITE Capital. And this individual, I remember I identify him as one of the key players in Charlotte, North Carolina, not knowing that he has moved to Charleston, South Carolina. So I reached out to him and said, hey, I'd like to meet you too. And he said, I'm in Charleston. Can you come and let's have a coffee early in the morning? Our coffee meeting was around 7 a.m. in the morning. I live in Charlotte. Charlotte to Charleston is a good 3 hours drive. Without traffic, with traffic, about 3.5 hours. And I woke up very early in the morning, 3 a.m. in the morning, got ready, got in the car. And at that time, I did not have a Tesla. I had my
Toyota
Camry.
The one that almost left us in South Carolina.
I have a Toyota Camry. So I got in my Camry. I drove 3 hours all the way to Charleston, got there. Before 7 a.m., I was there. I was at a coffee shop. And I waited for him, and then he rolled in around like 7:30. And then immediately he came. He looks like he's like ready to go for the day because these brokers are really busy. And he's like, thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for meeting with me. Tell me a little bit about yourself. So I just gave him my spiel. You know, I'm Tenny Telefire, one of the founder of XSITE Capital. You know, I just moved to Charlotte, looking to buy our first deal. Like, yeah, so listen, you know, I don't have so much time. I have to run. I have a 7:45 meeting. But, you know, let's just chat real quick. But you came in last night, right? I'm like, no. I drove in this morning. He was like, no way. You drove in this morning? I said, yes. Because, you know, the meeting was 7 a.m. He was like, I'm so sorry. I can't believe it. And I have to leave in the next 15 minutes. I like, it's all good. The most important part is that, you know, I get to meet you. You get to see me. I share with you what we're looking to do. He was like, well, I'm going to see what I'm going to do. And then he bought me coffee. He bought me coffee that morning and then paid for it. We sat down for about 15 minutes. And then he stood up and he was about to leave. And once he was about to leave, me, Dr. Oni, and Leslie, we read this book about giftology. There's a principle where you don't go to visit somebody with an empty hand. And I'm from Nigeria, and in my place of origin, Bonny Kingdom, we have a king. If you go visit the king, he runs that whole island, right? You don't just go see the king and just like, yeah, I want to come and see you at chat. No, you go with something. You can go with alcohol. You can go with some gift to visit the king. And the broker, he runs these markets, meaning he's the one that holds the key to the cookie jar. So I'm like, how would I go see him? And my partners, they said, just buy something to go give to him. So I bought a Dom Perignon, a champagne. And once he's about to leave, I said, please, hold on 1 second. I have something for you. So I went into my car, pull up a bottle of Dom Perignon, and I went to him and I said, hey, I brought this gift for you. And I gave him the same analogy I just mentioned. I don't want to come here empty-handed. This is a bottle of drink we use for our celebration when we close our deal. He looked at me and like, who the hell is this guy? Like, how did he just come? I'm meeting you for 15 minutes, and now you're giving me a bottle of champagne for celebration of our deal that we're going to close together. You must have some balls. I was like, yeah, you know, that's just who I am. That's who we are at XSITE Capital. And then he was like, thank you so much. He was like, you know what? Now I owe you a deal. And guess what? He's the guy that gave us our very first deal. So when we closed the deal, I was at the bank. Right? We didn't have a smooth closing of the deal because I think
that's what I was about to say. Is like the work of the closing overwhelms you so much that you don't even get the chance to feel that emotion. It wasn't after we finally broke that 3 of us got on a call and celebrated a little bit, but it was crazy. The day of the closing.
Yep.
The bank would not let us process the transaction.
Because the process of closing is like, you have the lender, you have the seller, you have us, you have all these different parties. It was a $12.55 million transaction. We needed to wire $3.2 million to the escrow, which we deposit to the seller and every other parties involved in the deal. So me driving to the bank with my Camry, and just wearing regular jeans and shirt, they're like, who's this guy that's coming here trying to wire $3.2 million from Bank of America at the time? And they couldn't believe it. They started interviewing me there, and then I had to call Leslie and Dr. Oni on the call. I'm like, guys, I don't know what's going on. They're asking me a bunch of questions here. And now I transferred the bank account situation to Leslie and let him be handling it. But they give us a really hard time. They have to send the money to, and everybody now. So when you're going through the process of closing, the seller is waiting, the title agents are waiting, or the broker is waiting, the broker, which is the debt brokers, and the sales brokers are waiting, the insurance agents are waiting. All of these guys are waiting to get their own piece of the transaction because everybody's about to get paid. It takes a lot of people to get these deals done. Now, guess who they're calling? XSITE Capital, because we're the ones that have the capital to buy the deal. So everybody was calling Leslie, myself, Dr. Oni, like, what's going on? Investors too, we already told investors that we're closing that. So investors were calling, like, what's going on? So everybody's calling us trying to figure out what the holdup is, not knowing that the bank is just delaying the transaction. I don't know why they're doing that. And we had a cutoff time where if you don't do the wire that day, the transaction goes to the next day. I think that was on a Friday.
It wasn't a Friday, so we had to close on that Friday.
Monday. And then what happens is seller now lose credibility. And if you don't close that day, you lose some money. So there was just a whole lot of things that was happening. So there was not like the emotions of celebration, but rather the emotions of
relief.
Like, relief, right? Because we finally got it to the finish line and we got on the call, celebrated. But we did we all met in Atlanta, I think, we did a celebration in Atlanta afterwards. But it was more a process of relief that we finally got this deal to the finish line as lead sponsor than anything else. We created XSITE Capital in 2019. We didn't do our first deal until 2021. That is almost 2 years ahead, right? So it was like, man, this is happening. We're really doing this as lead sponsor. We're the one in charge. We're on the driver's seat. Like we have the steering wheel, and we're driving basically. Are we sure we're doing the right thing? I can remember Leslie, when the deal finally penciled, Leslie, like, are you sure this is real? We have to send it to third party. We have to send it to our mentor. We have to send it to a lot of people to validate that we're doing the right thing.
When it comes to real estate investing, one of the most important decisions you can make is the market that you choose to invest in. When we started our journey and we were looking to acquire an asset, we spent a lot of time on demographic data. Like not just looking at demographic data on the internet, but also going down there, calling the Economic Development Council to see what's happening in those markets. And one of the markets that we identified was Columbia, South Carolina. And one of the things that really attracted us to that market was when we called the EDC of Columbia, South Carolina. They were so excited. They had all this program about investing, about the future. They had like a program for the next 10 years in Colombia. We knew this is the market that we wanted to be in too. So that's where Tenny started to spend a lot of time trying to find assets in that market. Again, like Tenny mentioned, we'd been in business for 2 years. And it's not like in those 2 years, there was a day where we said, oh, let's take a break. And no. Mm-hmm. Every single day we were working, building relationships, learning, reading books, going to seminars, looking at all of this and looking at different things. So we had developed like a very conservative way of underwriting deals or finding properties. The brokers started sending us deals. We reviewed hundreds of deals. None of them were making sense, right? Because we stuck to our numbers, stuck to our fundamentals. And when we finally got that deal that made sense, that's why I was like, no, we must be missing something.
Making some mistakes
because I was used to looking at deals and the numbers not making any sense. So we validated it, third parties, mentors, other people, and it was strong. So going into the deal, we knew we had a solid deal. Our property manager was so excited about that deal because she also had like a lot of presence in the Colombia market. So once you have that kind of a property, then there's a great chance for you to succeed. And when we got on the asset, because we had been so conservative, the numbers we were seeing were much, much better than what we anticipated. You see, the great thing about this real estate investing, what I love about multifamily real estate investing is because it's very simple to understand how value gets created. How as an operator, you can increase value of an asset. It's simple. The value of a multifamily asset is based on the income that asset generates. It's not like single family real estate where you buy a single family property, you wait for the neighborhood to appreciate, you exit. No. As an operator, we can go in and do things to that business to increase the revenue that will increase the value of that business. And that's what we were doing in our initial sourcing and underwriting process. That's why we went to a market that has a growth plan, that had a development plan, because we know that market is going to continue to grow. That's why we went into a market where the population was growing, because we know increase in demand means that it gives us the opportunity to be able to increase the revenue, especially when there's not enough supply. So these are all the multifaceted factors that came into place for us to be able to achieve that goal. So when we got in on the asset was doing really well. We started implementing our business plan right away. And in a few months, we were outpacing the numbers we were projecting when it comes to like the amount of rent growth that we were getting. So in that moment, our investors are happy they're getting returns. Now, this is our very first deal as lead sponsors. We wanted to give our investors a win. A lot of these investors came into the asset just because they trusted us. They had never heard about multifamily investing before, but they're like, oh, Tenny, Dr. Oni, Leslie, you guys are stand-up guys. I see the vision. I want to be part of this. So I'm just going to trust you with $100,000. So one of the things we do when we own this asset is like we're constantly getting the value, the valuation of this asset. We're constantly testing the market, understanding what the value of that asset is. And when we realized that we're at a point where this asset had grown so much in value that we could give our investors, like we had actually, when we got a broker's opinion of value, which is like the document that we get every quarter on all of our assets, where the brokers tell us, okay, this is what, based on the revenue that your property is generating, based on where the market is at, this is how much your business is worth. When we got it and realized, oh my God, we are hitting our exit projections. I'm talking about like the amount that we thought about selling the asset in 5 years. We're already hitting those numbers in less than 2 years. Like, okay, now is the time to exit. All right. And we were able to exit out of that asset. We went into that asset promising our investors an 18.5% average annual return, meaning if they invested $100,000, they would generate $18,500 a year passively on average. That's a calculation of the cash flow they get while we own the asset and the appreciation that we get at the end. When you add those two numbers up and divide it over 5 years, we were estimating that, projecting, targeting that our investors would get 18.5%. But in 22 months, they got 29.97% average annual return. That is $100,000 generating $30,000 a year passively. 100% passive. Guys, that's how powerful this is. So that particular exit did not just validate the mission of XSITE Capital, it also doubled down on our own internal confidence and conviction on what we're building. And we've never stopped running ever since. And we can't wait because there's some more amazing results coming for our investors. So we're definitely excited about the future.
Grove Park View is one deal that literally almost killed me. I've gone through a lot of struggles and challenges in my life, but Grove Park View, when it comes to a deal, we've done a lot of deals so far. That's one deal that everything went wrong. It challenged who we are. It challenged our partnership. It challenges the marketplace. It challenged the industry. It challenged everything. It challenged our company. Everybody almost gave up on us. But when your vision, your goals is bigger than your fear, there's nothing that can stop you. And at XSITE Capital, we've already dedicated our lives to this business. We say this is it. There's no other thing that we're going to be doing for the next several years until we get gray hairs all over. I already started having some gray hair already. Till we get old, this is it. This is the vehicle that we've chosen to help people in our community see light, understanding that they can build wealth with real estate without having to do a whole lot of work that comes with it. And in that process, we're doing well for ourselves and our family. We've seen that this is it. So the question we ask ourselves when this deal almost broke us down, killed us, or actually made us go out of business, we said, if we quit now, what's our options? What are all our options? And there's no other option. So Grove Park View was one transaction, at least to date, that has been the most challenging in any of the transactions we've done. And I'm not saying we're not going to see another deal that will give us more challenges, but at least to date for XSITE Capital, Grove Park View has been that deal that challenged us significantly. And guess what? And also one of the deal that's been one of the most iconic deal in our ecosystem that's making us blossom. Because sometimes when you go through life, when you start facing challenges, you feel like the world is about to come to an end, not knowing that actually that's about to be your springboard. Guys, since Grove Park, we've closed 2 off-market deals. And I think that challenge made us a better company, made us better partners, made us better investors, help us identify weaknesses that we have within our companies to fix them. It just made us as a whole a better private equity firm and a better people individually. So Leslie, I don't know.
The main motivation that kept us going through the storm of closing Grove Park View was our investors. XSITE Capital would not be in existence if it was not for the people that we decided to serve. The whole name XSITE Capital was not the excitement about acquiring apartment communities or building wealth for ourselves. It was the excitement about serving a specific group of people who never had access to this asset class before. So when we faced the challenges with Grove Park View, we asked ourselves, if we stop now, who will? Who will continue in this battle? Who will continue in this journey to bring institutional grade assets to members of our community, to other 9-to-5 professionals, to people who never even thought that this was possible for them? We had to take ourselves out of the equation and focus on the people that we decided to serve. And when we did that, we knew there was only one answer: never back down. And guess what? Our investors were cheering us along.
Yep.
Like, guys, we got you guys.
Let's go.
As long as you guys keep fighting, we got you.
Yep.
And that was so heartwarming, right? And I remember one of our investors called me. He was like, Leslie, you guys are such good guys, man. How can I help? How can I help? And those were the calls. Those were the messages that we're getting from our community that kept us going. And we're like, you know what? There's always a way. There's always a way. We've always had that fundamental belief. If we cannot get over the obstacle, we'll go under the obstacle. If we cannot go under the obstacle, we'll go around it. If we cannot go around it, we'll go through it.
Yep.
The obstacle is the way. And we kept going. And I'm telling you, that experience helped us grow significantly as a platform. Like Tenny said, helped us grow as a company, helped us grow as individuals. And sometimes the greatest things come through pain.
A lot of pain.
A lot of pain. And
I can remember very well doing that deal. So we started, guys, education is the key. Like everything that you're looking to do is out there. Somebody already done it and figured it out. We started identifying the gaps we have within the company that is making it challenging for we to make the transaction happen. All in addition to that, there's a lot of economic factor too that was against us. So the challenge with Grove was not just XSITE Capital. There was a lot of economic, political, geopolitical things that was actually affecting everything. So everything that could go wrong was going wrong. People were scared about the world, politics, money, recession, inflation. Everything was going wrong. And like Leslie said, if there's an obstacle, you just got to figure out how do I go around it or above it or through it. And what we decided to do was to go through it, right? And we sought guidance from mentors, from books, from friends. Like he said, investors were there by our side, just cheering us along. And we're not one of those group of people that see challenge and we back down. we just be like, okay, what do we need to do? When I literally, there are some of our partners that are like, you know what, at this point in time, I think we should just, how do they call it? Count your losses, right? And just let's go quit and go fight another day. We're like, but this is a battle. If we quit right now, the battle is over. We got to figure out how to navigate this, right? And I think one day me and my partners, we sat down and we asked ourselves, what are our options? These people we're looking to serve. If we quit today, man, we give up on them. Can we figure out a way to have a conversation with the seller, with our investors, and everybody that's involved in this transaction to let them understand that as long as we have breath in our body, as long as we still have this energy, we're going to get it done. All we just need is time. And all the partners involved, the seller, the brokers, everybody involved in the deal was like, well, I see you guys are still fighting. You guys still have the energy. I remember this very, very, very well. The broker will call me because the broker, I've not done a deal with him before. He's known XSITE Capital for a while. And he will call me like, man, Tenny, are you sure I did not make the wrong decision to award you guys this deal? I'm like, if you give us chance, just give us a little bit more time. There was one day I did not waver for one day that we will not be able to close that deal. One day. The only thing I knew that we were running out of was time. Time. And I was like, if only they can give us more time, we're going to get it done. Like, I don't think I ever had that doubt within my mind that I have what it takes to get it done. But we needed to become a company that is capable of doing it. And we needed time to become that company. And that is that company we became. Because time gave us the time to grow to be the company. And because we grew to become the company, we were able to execute on the deal. And the whole marketplace saw that now we became a company that is capable of withstanding that kind of challenges. And guess what? That we became an institutional investor, and they started giving us opportunities that they know we are capable as a group to be able to do it. And it's not just because me, Dr. Oni, and Leslie. Of course, we have all these investors that was chairing. I remember an investor called me at 11 p.m. at night. He had two feelings. One of the feelings is that, man, I like what you guys are doing. What you guys are doing is crazy. It's ambitious. I love it. But he was scared. Because this is the first time he's investing with us. He's investing $300,000 with us. He's like, man, I love what you guys are doing. You guys have this vision. And all I told him that day was, you call me 2 a.m. in the morning, I'll pick up your call. Because you've trusted us to go in this journey together. As long as we have time, I promise you, we'll deliver in our results. He was like, Tenny, this is exactly what I want to hear. Well, it's okay. It's okay. This guy doesn't really know us from anywhere, but he just believes in the vision and the conviction that we have about where we're going. And then, we got that deal closed. And if I have to think about one of the most challenging time in my life, it was this day because I was sick, I was growing, I was learning. It did everything. My wife, my kids. I woke up in the morning, I go into the office, and I don't go out till late in the night. Even when I'm sleeping, me and my partners were having phone calls about what we're going to do next. What are our options? So asking the question about a deal that was one of the most challenging transactions in our history, Grove Parkview definitely is the deal. And it actually springboard us to who we're becoming right now. So
yeah, and just to highlight what actually happened is we acquired Grove Parkview because when you put these deals under contracts, you have 90 days to close.
60 to 90 days.
60 to 90 days to close. We were awarded Grove Parkview. What was it, like July or June?
It was June 2024.
June 2024. We were awarded and we had to close it in 60 days with an opportunity to extend that for another 30 days. Well,
each extension requires an additional earnest money deposit.
And after 90 days, we had not raised the capital that was required to close Grove Parkview. Because guess what was happening at that same period of time as well? The Olympics. Summer Olympics, summer holidays. Then the elections were coming. And everybody thought the war was going to come to an end because of the varying news cycles and all of that. And everybody just ghosted. Nobody was responding, even our investors. Because before going into the deal, we had soft commitments of over $20 million. But all of that disappeared. And in those moments, the seller of the deal is waiting. You guys said you close this deal in 90 days. What's going on? The broker, I trusted you guys. I believed in you guys, and I gave you guys this. On our own end, we have our personal money, EMD, earnest money deposit on the line, hundreds of thousands of dollars. We are spending morning, day, night, calling, talking to investors, pushing, doing webinars, doing everything, and nothing is moving. For a good 2-3 months period of time, we did not raise a single dime extra.
Yep.
And in those 2-3 months period of time, we never wavered.
We're calling every day, working.
We never wavered for any second. We knew God, the universe, or whatever is challenging us to grow. And we focused on who do we need to become? Who do we need to talk to? How do we need to do that? And that led to like a significant amount of growth for us as a platform. And it is what you see today, is the XSITE Capital that you see today. But what we always went back to the fundamentals, to first principles. All right. Is this deal a good deal? Yes. The numbers, the fundamentals make sense on the deal. Yes. Has anything changed about the deal since we bought it? No.
Since we had it on that contract.
Yes, since we had it on the contract. No. Okay. So what must have changed is just the community society that we live in at this time. All right. It's still a good deal. It's going to make well for our investors. That's why we got there in the first place. We'll go back to the seller and talk. And thankfully, the seller was able to work with us. And guess what? Something that could have ended really badly ended up really well, because the seller, who was a very experienced operator, became a mentor to us because she liked the way we dealt with these challenges that we had. We were so transparent, so open, that at one point she called. She's like, "Guys, you guys are too transparent. You don't need to tell me
about that.
You don't need to tell me anything." So it's one of those things that taught me. And I know we're going to face challenges again in the future, but we're going to go into it with a much, much different mind and much, much different perspective that we did with Growth Pack View. So while it almost killed us, it did help us grow significantly.
Yep. And then one other thing I'm going to say in that Growth Pack View thing is, a lot of people, when they face challenges, they run away. Like they stop communicating, they stop picking up their phones, they start hiding, they stop doing what they're supposed to do. XSITE Capital, we're not. We move forward. I can remember very well, our investors, our brokers, partners, there's no day they call us and we don't pick up the phone. We miss their call, we call them right back. And they ask you, like, so what's going on? We're like, this is exactly where we are. But we're making progress, And I think that's one thing, if anybody's taking away from this conversation as well, is just don't run away. Don't hide. Don't go hide in a closet somewhere. Just face the person, face the challenge, and then have an honest conversation with every party. I think one of the things that helped us in this thing is we stick to our core value, which is honesty and integrity. It's like, we want to be able to let you understand where we are and where we're going and what we're doing every single day to get us there. And I think everybody that was part of that conversation appreciated that we were actively working towards, because I can remember very well, the broker was telling me that there are some people like, they face this challenge. Guess what? If you call them, they don't pick up. They disappear. And he's been doing this for over 30 years. Like, he was like, what you guys exhibited was something that I've never seen before. In the midst of challenges, you guys were present. You were always communicating, dedicated to the cause, and you guys brought it to the finish line. And that gave us a huge amount of respect in the entire industry. It's not just about this deal. It gave us a huge respect in the industry. So I think that was a powerful one as well. But again, what doesn't kill you make you stronger. That's exactly what Growth Pack View did.
1,000%. So Growth Pack View is actually one deal that helped us grow.
It made us a better company.
It made us build a better team.
It made us a resistant company.
It made us grow our investor base significantly.
It made me a better learner.
It also made us better leaders.
It made me a better team member.
It definitely made me a better individual.
It made me understand the gap that we have within the company.
And it turned you into an investor relations specialist.
Yeah, exactly. it made me become somebody that didn't know I have a capability of becoming something extraordinary.
And it helped us unlock some really powerful tools that we're still using today, like some strategies that we teach to other people as well.
It created a lot of partnership for us.
Oh, yeah. And it opens so many doors to other off-market opportunities.
He actually made us an institutional investor.
Yeah, Growth Pack View actually elevated XSITE Capital as a platform.
And made our investors trust in the vision of what we're doing.
To this day, our investors still rave about Growth Pack View.
And they're ready to go to war with us.
Because of the challenges that we faced and how we communicated with them.
Growth Pack View was one of those deals that made people understand that no matter what happened, a deal or the people that you work with is the most important thing that can ever happen to you.
It truly, truly solidified our relationship with brokers because I could see how much respect the brokers have for us when we went to NMSC in Las Vegas.
Growth Pack View was one of those deals that became the rocket fuel that's launching XSITE Capital to $1 billion company.
Growth Pack View changed XSITE Capital.
Landbank Loft, a premium apartment building in Columbia, South Carolina, the smack middle of Columbia, South Carolina, was one deal that made us feel really, really lucky, right? We were lucky to have that deal. And it was pure luck, like, guys, pure luck. And how it came about was, whenever I'm looking to buy a deal in the market, what I do as a strategy, head of acquisition, is to build a relationship with the brokers in that market. So that day, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do two things. I'm going to meet with one of the top brokers in that market, and then I'm going to take our property management team for lunch. Those are the two things I said I was going to accomplish on my visit to Columbia, South Carolina. So I reached out to the broker. I said, hey, I'm coming to Columbia, South Carolina. Can we meet for lunch? He's like, yeah, sure, let's do it. In that same vein, I reached out to the property management team. I said, hey, you guys are managing our other project, which is the View at St. Andrews. Can you guys come? I'm going to take you guys out for lunch. They said, sure. So I booked both meeting in the same restaurant. So I got there. The broker came. Me and him started meeting, and then we started having lunch. There comes our property management team. 3 beautiful ladies. They walked in the door. And hey, Tenny, how you doing? And this broker was looking at me like this, like, who's this guy? And interestingly, the broker knows one of the ladies because he's a broker. He sells a bunch of deals, and these are property management team that runs a lot of multifamily properties in the city. So he's known one of these ladies for 10 years. And he was like, how do you know this guy? Because this broker just met me for the first time. Like, how do you know Tenny? He's like, oh yeah, we manage your property down the View at St. Andrews, and Tenny just invited us for lunch. And the broker was looking at me like, who is this guy? So I was like, oh yeah. So I told them that, hey, you guys, please don't, if you don't mind, we're about to wrap up our meeting, me and the broker. I'll come and meet you guys in a second. You guys go ahead, grab a seat, grab a food, grab your bite, everything. I'll meet you guys in a minute. So the broker was like, you know what? I know we're just meeting for the first time, but I think there's a deal you should take a look at. I say, can you tell me a little bit more about it? Now, because he met this lady and he saw that they help us manage our property, that increased my credibility, right? Because, of course, when you go to this meeting, they're trying to check you out, to try to understand who you are, what you can do, and all of that good stuff, right? So he's like, so I have this deal. It's in downtown. It was built in 1936 or 1935. But later it was a bank and it was converted to an apartment. We don't look at the 1930s deal. We look at 1980s or newer deals. He was like, no. I've never done this before. I don't know anything about deal conversion from old structure to an apartment building. So I kind of just was like, I'm not interested. So he was like, you should take a look at it. So what I did was like, okay, give me the information. I'll send it to my team that's sitting over there for them to tell me what they think about the deal. And I had 4 other deals that same day to tour as well with another broker. So I was like, well, if I finish this lunch with all of you, I have some other deals I have to go tour. But let me send it to my team members here for them to take a look at it, and I'll get back to you. He was like, well, check it out. When you're done with all your tours, I think you should check it. You guys should go check out the property. I said, it's okay. I'll go check it out. But in my heart, I was not interested. There was no interest at all. So I sent the deal to our property manager, the lead property manager, and boy, oh boy, this lady got excited. Do you know when somebody was so excited, now you started getting scared, like, why is this lady so excited? There's something here that is a little fishy now. I had to call Leslie to contain the flood of excitement that was coming towards me. So she was like, Tenny, are you serious? This deal in Columbia, South Carolina, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. This is how we're gonna. She was just going off, like just telling us a bunch of things that we can make money. I'm like, we've not even looked at the numbers. We've never done any details on the deal. She was like, Tenny, this deal, trust me, this is the best deal. You should invest in it. She was just going off. I called Leslie. Remember that day I called you? I was like, bro, I'm not sure what's making Lila so excited, but you probably need to talk to her because I cannot contain the excitement. So Leslie got on the call with her. I was like, okay, Lila, sounds good. Let's look at the numbers. Guys, you know one of those things, you underwrite the deal and it just penciled. The deal just penciled. This deal was moving so fast, I couldn't believe it. So deal penciled. Immediately, we put the deal. We submitted an offer on the deal. The seller accepted the offer. We brought our team out. All our team members flew out to the property, did our due diligence. And then the day we were doing our due diligence, the broker kind of pulled me to the side and whispered, I was like, Tenny, there's another buyer in the picture that's looking to buy the apartment and the land. I just brushed out like, bro, don't even tell me that. And he's like, but I just want to make sure you're aware. I'm like, no, come on now. We have my team over here. We're doing due diligence already on the asset. Everybody has flown out all over the country to be here. Let's just tell the seller we're going to close on the deal. We'll make it happen. After we left the due diligence, I had to go for a funeral with my wife in Philadelphia. Went for the funeral. We were on our way back, and I got a call. The broker was like, Tenny, I'm sorry, but the seller decided to go in another direction. And before this time, he was like, the seller is going to go in another direction because this other person is looking to buy another parcel of land that is adjacent to this asset, or behind this asset, sorry. I was like, listen, we're gonna develop it. We're gonna develop the land. How much is it? I started calling all the different developers I know, like, look at this land, what can we do on it? I started trying to figure, again, this is another big lesson to learn here, is like, don't try to become something that you're not. We started trying to become a developer of the land because we wanted the deal so bad, because the deal just makes sense. To cut long story short, the seller awarded the deal to somebody else. When I say this is one deal that I was lucky on, and then became sad, and I became lucky again, this is the deal. So I was so depressed. Another big lesson, don't get emotionally invested.
Don't get attached to a deal.
Don't
fall in love with the deal.
Don't fall in love with the deal. I was really angry, depressed. I was so sad. And in retrospect, that deal was one of those deals that when you think about it, some core things that you create as a human kicks in, because I did not hold it against the broker. I realized that this is just business. The seller wants to give it to somebody that have the capability of buying the property and the land. It only makes sense. It's just a business decision. There's nothing personal. And that's what I had to come to realization with. And then guess what? I called the broker again. I was like, what's going on? How you doing? What other project do you have going on? I put all of that frustration aside. I was like, okay, what's the vision? XSITE Capital, I want to buy more deals in Columbia, South Carolina, and in South Carolina as a whole. So we just started having a neutral conversation. And I think a couple of weeks later, he called me. I was like, Tenny, are you still interested in that deal? I was like, absolutely. Let's do it. And the deal came back to us. And now that deal is one of the best performing deals we've ever bought.
It's an awesome deal. It's doing so well. Spitting out way above any returns that we ever projected. Imagine a property delivering 14% cash flow in 1 year.
Yep.
Cash flow. Not even appreciation.
Yep.
Right? Very, very good deal. High performance, low maintenance, and excellent deal.
What would you think on that deal actually is making it perform like that?
I think it's the acquisition to begin with, right? We got it at like a very good basis. Then it's in a good location. That deal is right next to a hospital.
Right.
Remember that. It's right next to a hospital. It's not far away from USC Law School, right? So it's in an area where you have good tenants. Right. And there's not a lot of supply over there.
Like that.
And then it's a very unique property too.
Yeah.
That used to be a bank that got converted into apartment. So you have a lot of space. It's like stacked downtown Columbia, South Carolina. Yeah. So it's a downtown property.
It's a historic building. Like, it has this nice feature. I mean, it's a beautiful building, man.
It's a beautiful building.
None of our buildings, none of any of our buildings have a generator.
No, that's the only
building that has a generator.
Yeah. So
it has a backup generator that works and everything. It's like, it's one of those trophy assets that you get. You're like, man, how did you even? Sometimes you get in this business, you got to pinch yourself. Like, man, how how did we actually?
I know.
How?
You
How
know,
did it happen?
you know the funny thing is, like, sometimes we're so stuck in the work, it's like you don't understand what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, you don't even pause to figure out, oh my God, yeah, we just did that.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Like when we closed Park at Arlington lately, I was like, wait. Like I was just so caught in the bank, going to do this transaction, appointment, all of that, wired millions of dollars, broke escrow, you guys closed, now you own a $33 million asset. Like, okay. Team meeting tomorrow. We have to do this. Like you don't even. So there's those moments when you sit down and
reflect,
and then you overwhelm with gratitude.
Yep.
That we just trusted in ourselves. We trusted in the vision that was given to us, and then we just went out and took action, and then you snap right back out of it and you get back to work.
Exactly. Yep.